Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, I'm going to be doing something different that I've never done before. I'm not going to be talking about your favorite cities, towns, or states. I'm not going to be making a compilation video of a car convention I went to or a meme. Today, I'm going to be talking about my newest toy, 2022 Toyota Corolla Cross. As the name suggests, this car is a crossover between the Toyota Corolla sedan and an SUV. Well, pretty much, it's an SUV version of the Toyota Corolla. This is one of the newest models from the Toyota brand. It has all-wheel drive, making it a great car to drive in different weather conditions. It's a great car overall for first-time car owners such as myself. I think it drives pretty great, and it does have all the features that modern cars do come with, including Bluetooth radio, backup camera, backup assist, pretty much everything in terms of modern technology when it comes to modern cars. This is just the regular Toyota Corolla Cross. It's not the hybrid. And overall, I think it has great visibility. It's a great car to drive in general. Before we move to the front and back seats, let's take a look at the trunk. One of my favorite features of this car is, of course, the trunk. It has a lot of space and a lot of room in general. So this is the amount of space it carries. Now, the seats do come down, so if you're like me who tends to carry or who anticipates carrying, big stuff or loading big or long, heavy stuff in general, this is a great car for you. Well, maybe not heavy stuff, but stuff that's long or big in general. Of course, right underneath this platform right here, we have a spare tire. And one of my favorite features that I think that even they failed to mention at the dealership when I did buy the car, that is an advantage though, let me tell you that, are these nice little like niches, or I call them pockets, whatever you would like to call them. These are for me an advantage because that creates more space for the car. I usually like to put stuff in here that I would not want spilling or tipping over, like if you have glass, bottled liquids, anything that would spill if you tipped them over, or just in general, this just adds more room for me and a nice place to put the smaller stuff here. So I think it's a great advantage of this car in general. And the trunk, now unfortunately the trunk does not have the automatic open and close button, like where you push a button and it automatically closes for you. That's the only disadvantage of the trunk. Let's take a look at the driver's and front passenger seat. So that's what it looks like on the inside. It's pretty spacious. It has great visibility overall for the front and side visibilities. It doesn't have exactly, like, even when you look at the rear view mirror or when you look at the back, it doesn't have exactly the best rear visibility, but it does have a backup camera, so that makes up for the bad or poor rear view visibility. Now let's see what it's like when you start the car. Usually, if you're not buckled like I am, I'm definitely not buckled right now, but it'll make those three sounds at the beginning if you start the car and you're not buckled. All right, now I'm buckled. So that's what it looks like. That's what the home menu looks like. Now I have connected my phone to the radio via Bluetooth, and it's probably not showing up right now because I'm making this video in the process. Well, actually now it's showing up, but usually if you connected your car to Bluetooth, that's how it'll look like. And in general, I'll show you what the different menus look like here. So of course that's the main menu where you could do audio, phone, apps. You could pretty much read your text messages that are sent to you. When it will read them automatically for you if you select that option when they're sent to you. It also has projection, and I'm going to be talking about in just a moment. Of course, there's audio controls here. You could actually start, skip, go back, or pause, pretty much anything that when you connect the phone via Bluetooth and start playing, you could actually control the sound through here too. Of course, there's the track and seek options, but I've never really used those. The phones and apps. Of course, you could always choose the source. I've never really used Sirius XM or any of the local radio stations on this car just yet. There is one feature, and unfortunately, this is a disadvantage of using this car. This does not have the map. This does not have the Maps app already installed in it. Yeah, unfortunately, this is one of those cars that doesn't come with the Maps app. Now, this does have the exact same technology that our family's Subaru Outback has. This screen has the exact same UI and layout as the one for our Subaru Outback, and the Subaru actually has a map, but this one doesn't. You cannot use Bluetooth to get the map on the screen. Unfortunately, depending on whether you have Apple or Android, including Samsung, you're going to need Apple CarPlay or Android Autoplay. I'm not going to be able to, or Android Auto is what I meant to say. I'm not going to be able to show it to you here. Unfortunately, I need to bring a cord. You actually have to plug it in with an authentic cord, not a cheap like cord from Dollar Tree or a convenience store, but an actual like more expensive authentic cord into this USB port. And you're gonna have to do that and have Android Auto up and running in order to get the maps there, maps on the screen. And Maps works very well. You can also control and type in the location and destination from the screen here without having to reach for your phone. In general, if you do use that option, do not connect it to any of the USB outlets, the USB ports I meant, that have this symbol on it, because that's just for charging. If you plug it in there, you won't be able to display or see anything from your phone on the screen here. So it's a pretty spacious screen. I mean, it's not as big as those fancy Tesla screens, but still, it'll give you a good, it gives you a good like visibility of what's on the menu, what songs you're playing, the maps, of course. And when you do shift the car into reverse, it doesn't immediately go into backup cameras just like most modern cars. One of the things that I love about the backup camera is it has those lines to tell you if you're on, like if you're within the vicinity of the parking spaces. Makes it great to see when you're front parking, when you're parking normally, if you're within the lines of the parking space, you're not too far to the left or right, or you're not over one of the lines. And it's a great tool in general for backup car parking. When I parked yesterday using the backup camera, this feature was very helpful in helping me making sure that my wheels, my car in general, was in line with the parking space, and it was overall very helpful. And to be able to rear or reverse park, and I parked pretty well. I wish I filmed and showed it to you guys. Right here, yes, when you push this button, and I think you could do this also when you're in park mode. When you push this button, it tells you, like, I'm pushing the down, and that's, of course, that's what happens when you push up. It tells you the different features. Like, right now it's telling me the speed that my car is going at, and it's if you push this button right here to the left of the steering wheel, it shows me, like, what is the average miles per gallon I'm getting right now. What is, like, you know, the distance to empty. Well, obviously distance to empty, but if I'm driving, like, the most eco way possible, the cleanest way possible. And then we're back to the main menu. I actually wonder what the left and right buttons do. Wow, it actually tells you if there's a messages. Like, I think this is for alerts based on that icon over there. This is for, like, a lane, like making sure you don't depart for your lane. I think the next ones are parking and rear view assistance. This is the trip. This is the total distance we made in this trip so far since I started the car, and the amount of time I've spent. This is how good I'm staying within the lanes, and then we're back to the main menu. Yeah, I'm just discovering this feature. So this one will change between the speedometer to average and odometer to miles per gallon to how eco-friendly your car is, and this one changes, and the left and right buttons change to different important features like warning messages, different features your car can perform, etc. of the car so far. Here's the AC. Of course, there's defog for the front and rear view mirrors. Also, there's a way you could do defog with also leg and overall cooling and heating. On top of that, the mirrors, the side view mirrors, also have a defog icon right over there, so they can also be defogged if the weather gets too cold. And these are all the great features of the inside of the car on the driver's and front passenger seat so far. And here's another fun fact. If your phone is connected, it will automatically display the battery power of your phone. Now, onto the rear passenger seats. Yeah, this car is quite spacious, even for the passengers sitting in the rear, although there isn't that much leg room. I do like how the cup holder, and I'm just realizing this feature now, the cup holder is more like higher above the ground, so you don't have to reach that far to grab your drink if you place it there. Of course, there's the AC that you could adjust for the passenger sitting behind here, as usual. Now this does only, unfortunately, this only comes with one pocket. My previous car, which is a 2007 Honda Fit, had two pockets, one on each seat, but this one only has one, unfortunately. And that's pretty much it for the rear seats. That is, those two features right over there, as you could tell, is for the baby seats. And this does have a center seat, as usual. So yeah. All right, let's take this car for a spin, shall we? So yeah, driving is pretty smooth overall. Now I'm only driving in the parking lot of my former high school that I used to attend. And in general, this car handles pretty well. Handles better than my Honda Fit that I drove before this car. Pretty smoothly even. I don't even have the camera on like a stand or anything. I'm just leaving it in the small corner between the window and the dashboard, and it's holding up pretty well. Isn't that nice? So yeah, it looks like it handles pretty well when it comes to bumps. Yeah, this car handles pretty well in general. Honestly, it's quite amazing. I'm just now realizing I'm actually driving in the opposite way. The arrows are actually pointing in the other direction, but honestly, we're at a parking lot, so it wouldn't really matter. One really nice feature I want to point out about this car is this. Now, just give it a moment. Let me come to a complete stop. All right, let me come to a stop. So I don't know if you were able to hear that, but the engine is off. It's no longer burning fuel. And one thing you probably haven't noticed before is that green circle with the green A in the middle of it. That's the symbol that shows that basically it cuts off it automatically cuts off the gas, so it won't burn any fuels when you're stopped. This is very useful when you're like at a very long red light or an intersection where you're waiting for a while, because it could help you save gasoline. This feature can, technically speaking, it can be turned on and off. Right now it's on, but if you push this button right here, and I'm going to be careful, I actually don't know what will happen if I turn it off while it's on, but if you do push that button, it will turn off this feature. I wouldn't really recommend it the most unless you're the type of person who doesn't come to stops very often. I mean, because it could help you save gasoline, and with rising gas prices, it'll be probably the best idea to save gasoline right now. So, and once you lift your foot off the brake pedal, it turns back on again. So that's a nice feature of this car, on top of the fact it gets 29 to 31 miles per gallon on the city and highway respectively. All right, enough of that. Let's take this for a ride. Kind of like driving here sometimes, you know. It's like driving on the long desert in California from Fresno to San Francisco, except a majority of the mountains are pretty much all covered in trees rather than desert. So overall, that was driving this car on the beautiful Oregon countryside. Now let's give it a quick spin on the highway. We're heading south. So, like most modern technology, this car does have the feature that tells you if you're drifting or if you're driving over like two lanes. It might come up on this drive, it might not. But you never know if it might come. Apparently we're going at 60 miles an hour, just almost 60 miles an hour, just a couple miles above the 55 mile per hour speed limit. great car to drive and own for first-time car owners such as myself. I would highly recommend this car for anybody who's planning on getting a new vehicle, who's buying a car for the first time, or who wants a SUV or crossover SUV that's comfortable to drive and isn't that big. It's currently going right now for about $24,000 to $27,000. I got this one for approximately $27,000. And of course, it's Toyota, one of the most reliable car brands when it comes to longevity and the lifespan of their vehicles, as we all know. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more videos from this channel, and be sure to check out my channel, and I'll leave the link in the description below.